balls so dry, they explode like dust. Suck my balls, suck my balls.
You must suck my golf balls. Mommy?
Yes?
Suck my balls.
You got a lot of growing up to do, buddy. Suck my balls.
Sorry I'm different, but you can just suck my clit and my balls. You know what? You know what? That's what. Suck my clit and balls. I don't have to suck your balls. Before this day is over, you will suck my balls. Suck my balls, fat ass. I will. I will suck your balls, Kyle. And I will get down on my knee and I will suck your balls. I'll suck them dry, Kyle. Suck my balls, Kyle. Well, excuse my French, Mrs. Marsh, but you can suck my fat, hairy balls.
Suck my big balls in your hairy butt hole. Suck your big balls in your hairy butt hole. Your hairy butt hole.
What is that?
It's my balls.
God damn it, Carmen! How would you like to suck my balls?
What did you say?
I'm sorry. Actually, what I said was... How would you like to suck my balls, Mr. Darcy? Holy shit, dude.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition, that's right, of
Suck my balls, suck my balls, my balls, suck 'em dry.
Of course, I'm your host on the scene, where the air is clean, and I'm lighting up that green. Ya boy, MSG. You can follow me on Twitter, on Instagram, and School Shaffer. Each and every boys, get right to it. Get right through it. We review all of South Park as we like to do it. And I'm joined each and every week, sometimes with two, sometimes with one, sometimes with none, sometimes all I'm eating is a honey bun. But that's not why you're here. You're here to get your fix for another edition of a South Park review. And as I mentioned, I'm not alone. Normally, we're joined, of course, by our boy, Scoop. But he's not here today. He was with us on the last episode for the Lord of the Rings episode, Precious. We're Precious. Yeah, the butter's next to my man. The movie. There's fucking Kyle. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, also, of course, welcome back to the podcast. He's a brother from another mother. Sometimes he gives it all. Sometimes he doesn't care what y'all gonna say, boy. He's just gonna, give it to what you got to give. But ladies and gentlemen, he's back on the stack. He's back for another crack. He's gonna give all that nut sack. Dirty, 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 dirty Joe Vernola. So, Joe?
I'm gonna do what with a nutsack?
I don't know. You're gonna give people your dirty nutsack?
Yeah, that's all I picked up.
Well, he's back, ladies and gentlemen. And, my boy, I missed him. He's not feeling too hot. He's got a little bit of a shoulder ache, a little bit of a pain, but he's pushing through because he's a man of the people. And he gives no fucks. He's gonna tell you what to do.
Yeah, this shit sucks, dude.
I'm sorry. But hey, we'll try to liven you up. Maybe we can talk some South Park, and you'll feel much better, Joe. You'll feel like your old self, you know? As I keep rhyming with this flow. I'm on fire today. I'm spitting bars. Write this shit down. Oh, we're recording it. There you go. That's pretty good. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're back for another edition of Suck My Balls. This is episode number 90 freaking 6. Six. And it's also season 6, episode number 14. It is the Death Camp of Tolerance. Joe, tell us a little bit about this episode.
As you said, the Death Camp of Tolerance is the 14th episode of season 6. It is the 93rd episode overall. It first aired November 20th, 2002. The boys are sentenced to a death camp of tolerance where they learn how to treat minorities. Mr. Slave and Lemmywinks make their debut in this episode.
They certainly do. They certainly do.
Oh, yes, they do. With the absence of a 4th grade teacher after the death of Miss Chokes on Dick, Mr. Garrison is being promoted from being the kindergarten teacher to being the 4th grade teacher, after having previously been demoted to kindergarten for admitting to being homosexual.
As you know, the position of 4th grade teacher has become available, and we'd like to offer you the job.
Oh, for real? You're not kidding?
We in administration see now that you are an individual with your own preferences, and we respect that.
Oh, this is a dream come true. Thank you, Principal Victoria. I'll do a great job.
I know you will.
You're sure this is for real? I mean, I'm not going to just get fired again for being gay tomorrow.
It's for real, Mr. Garrison.
Oh, great.
With all the new laws, we could never fire you for being gay. Now you'd be able to sue us for millions of dollars.
And so after that, he gets an idea, a scheme, if you will, up his sleeve. A scheme. And he decides to introduce the class to his new S&M partner, Mr. Slave.
Okay, children, now for those of you who are new, my name is Mr. Garrison.
Where's Mr. Hat, sir?
Well, I was informed that 4th graders are a little too old for Mr. Hat.
2-year-olds are too old for Mr. Hat.
But it's okay because I found a new teacher's assistant. Say hello to Mr. Slave.
Hi, kids.
So that's Mr. Slave, the teacher's assistant. Or as I like to write for short, the teacher's ass.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Okay, Mr. Slave, go sit until I need you.
Oh.
Dude, I think that Mr. Slave guy might be a Pakistani.
The best part.
Right?
I think that Mr. Slave guy might be a Pakistani.
But you know that phrase, I think this is where I picked it up, this episode of the whole, oh, Jesus Christ. Like, I said that in high school one time in, like, the hallway of, like, the foyer or whatever, and this teacher tried to get mad at me and was like, don't say that. I was like, I can say whatever I want. This is a free country, and it's supposed to be freedom of religion.
Right.
And he couldn't say anything, so, because he knew I was right.
Yeah.
But he didn't understand that I was saying it in a comical way because I was referencing this episode.
Right.
So, Mr. Teacher Guy, I don't want to put your name out there. You know who you are, but you'll never listen to this. Go eat some lemons, okay? Go eat some rotten eggs, all right? Slip and fall on a banana. I don't know. Go ahead, Jim.
Right. So, as has been the case for the last several episodes, Kenny is still trapped inside Cartman's body, and while being trapped, has decided to make a paper airplane and throw it at the chalkboard. As a result, Garrison punishes Mr. Slave in front of the entire class.
Oh, here we go.
No, Kenny. What are you doing, Kenny?
Now, Stalin was a big silly when it came
Kenny,
to...
no! Don't do it, Kenny!
Eric, did you just throw a paper airplane?
No, it was Kenny!
Very funny, Eric. Kenny's dead.
Yeah, but Cartman drank Kenny's remains, and now Kenny's soul is trapped in Cartman's body.
Yeah! That does it. I will not put up with foolishness in my class. It's time for punishment. Take it, Mr. Slave.
Oh, it hurts.
I will not put up with tomfoolery in my classroom, children. Mr. Slave, put this rubber ball in your mouth. Take that, Slave. You take it. This should get me fired for sure.
Take that, Slave. Take it.
Put this ball gag in your mouth.
This ball gag in your mouth.
So the boys start complaining about their gay teacher, and their parents hear this, feel that their children are intolerant, and send them to the Museum of Tolerance as punishment.
Now, I want to preference this next clip by saying we do not tolerate the following slur words that are about to be you're about to hear unedited, because we don't ever edit anything on this podcast like that. We're unfiltered that way. So if you are triggered emotionally or mentally, for whatever reason, by ethnic slurs, cultural slurs, religious slurs, might want to skip ahead. I don't know, like maybe 30 to 45 seconds. Just being a nice guy here. I don't want to like trigger anybody.
Here we try to educate you on the dynamics of racism and prejudice in America. Now, did you know that words we use can show intolerance? Let's begin our tour with a walk through our tunnel of prejudice to show you what it can feel like to be discriminated against.
Queer, beaner, chink, nigger, heeb, faggot, cracker,
Oh, man, this is awesome.
Now you know how it feels.
I want to ride again.
It's so bad, but it's funny.
Yeah, it really is.
It's bad, but it's funny. And I'm more or less laughing at Cartman's reaction, not
Yeah.
the actual words. It's just Cartman is so messed up that he wants to ride it again.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, this episode really kind of dips into some of his psychoses a little bit, and he does some really heinous things in it, like that I'm surprised didn't come up when we were doing that what's the worst thing Cartman's ever done poll.
Okay, that's fair. I think that there's definitely a lot of unraveling of Cartman's inner mind and how it works, for sure, where he certainly finds everything, and he believes that everything and anything should be on the table. We should be able to make fun of everybody and say whatever words we want to say. But because we can't do that, he uses that to his advantage, and that makes everybody triggered, and that makes him kind of get off on it a little bit.
Yep.
You know, that a little bit of that power, knowing that he has the ability to put that, I guess, empathy away that you have for other human beings, and just be like, I don't care, I'm just going to say it. That's a hard thing to get over. I mean, even now, when you're trying to do just regular things, you're like, sometimes you get nervous and you're about to have a conversation. You're like, oh, okay, I got to have this conversation.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. And then you finally do it, right? But then, like, Cartman would just go in and be like, Rick Cartman here. Why don't you go ahead and take a seat? I break my balls here, Pat. You break my balls.
At the end of the tour, the museum guide interrupts her condescending spiel about tolerating others to viciously castigate a smoker.
Well, that's the end of our tour.
Now do you see why tolerance is so important, boys?
I guess.
We have to accept people for who they are and what they like to do. Hey, what the hell are you doing?
Oh, I was just,
There's no smoking in the museum!
But I'm not in the museum.
Get out of here, you filthy smoker!
Yeah, dirty lungs.
Go ahead and kill yourself, stupid tar breath.
Dumbass, get out of here.
Well, have a great day, everybody.
Now you boys can go and give your teacher and assistant the respect they deserve, right?
Yeah.
No, there was something I left out here when Cartman is at the end of the museum when they're talking about tolerance. And the lady is all like, you've probably called your friend a number of things, like fat tub, tard love, like fat titties or something like that. And,
Yeah.
And Stan kind of like, fat titties? That's a good one. We should use that later.
Yeah.
And she explains that Cartman can say that it's his life choice to eat more. So if he wants to be overweight, that's Cartman. That's my life choice.
Right. So,
and then there's one more thing. Randy says, that's our Cartman. All right.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that whole little 80s thing was kind of funny. So at this point, the boys are back in school. All the kids are back in school. And Mr. Garrison has taken this time to perform a science experiment with Mr. Slave about exothermic and endothermic energy or something along those lines, which culminates in placing a gerbil in Mr. Slave's ass, a practice commonly known as gerbiling.
Evaporation is an exothermic reaction. So let's look at an endothermic one. Mr. Slave, position 7, please. Now, I'm going to put the glass tube into Mr. Slave's tight ass. The heat from Mr. Slave's ass will act as our new conductor of energy. Okay, now, Butters, could you bring over Lemmy Winks for me, please?
Sure. Oh, no.
Newton was the first to discover that for every action there is a reaction. Thank you, Butters. Now, what do you think is going to happen when I introduce the element of the gerbil to the endothermic heat of Mr. Slave's ass? Well, let's see.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Lemmy Winks? No!
Lemmy Winks, no!
Oh my gosh, I can't believe Mr. Garrison shoved a gerbil.
Right. The only person who understands why the boys are the way they are is Chef, who, after they admitted their apparent intolerance to, had asked them why they were being uncomfortable around Garrison, and when told by Kyle, made it clear that homophobia has nothing to do with their discomfort, and he himself is sent to the exact same seminar that the kids were sent to by Principal Victoria.
At the end of it, like, he's all like, she's like, oh, see, that's intolerant right there. Hey, fuck you. I was just like, get him, chef.
Yeah.
It was good. It was a good chef moment.
It really was.
So meanwhile, we're going back to the stocks here, Joe. We getting in that dirty asshole.
Yes. So, yeah, we are now traversing the regions of Mr. Slave's digestive system with Lemmywinks, who is receiving advice from 3 animal spirits who more than likely have been killed while trying to escape: a frog king, a sparrow prince, and a catata fish, respectively. The Ballad of Lemmywinks, a parody of the title song from The Hobbit, is played in the background along with other songs from the movie.
So we have this quick, like 30 to 40 second clip, but at the end of the recap, I've pieced together the whole song, so that way we don't take up too much time making like music clips here. But here's part of the intro as far as where it happens.
Lemmywinks, you must find your way out of this place or you will surely die. This way has been closed off by the Great Sphincter. To escape, you must journey upward through the dark reaches of the intestine and past the stomach. Who am I? Just a friend. Heed my words, Lemmywinks. Your time is running out. Make for the large intestine. All will be made clear then.
A great adventure is waiting for you ahead. Hurry onward, Lemmywinks, or you will soon be dead. The journey before you may be long and filled with woe, but you must escape the gay man's ass so your tale can be told. Lemmywinks! Lemmywinks, Lemmywinks, Lemmywinks.
So good.
So good.
So now in the counselor's office with Mackie and all their parents, Stan states that they are not going back into the class with those quote-unquote queermos, their word, not mine. The parents, now fed up, ask Mr. Mackey what else they can do.
We're not staying in class another minute with those queermos.
Well, I really thought you boys learned something in the Museum of Tolerance, but apparently all you learned was new words to call your poor teachers.
But they killed Lemmywinks.
Shut your mouth, Butters. You'll speak when spoken to.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Mackey, we've done everything we can to raise compassionate children. We don't know where else to turn. Well, there is an intensive seminar camp. It's a bit severe, but it might be the only way. Okay?
That sounds good to me. Me too.
Then it's settled. Boys, you're going to tolerance camp.
Tolerance camp?
So Mackie suggested an Auschwitz-like tolerance camp, which uses arts and crafts and painful labor to teach the children tolerance, which goes black and white, and the whole scene pays homage to Schindler's List. At the camp, the children are first forced to make arts and crafts showing tolerance. Kyle gets in trouble for painting a bear.
Today we will be using the finger paint. You will make a painting that shows people of different races and sexual orientations getting along. Finger paint! Finger paint! You will not make any distinction between people of different color, people with different sexual preferences. You will accept everyone. What are you finger painting?
A bear?
Ein bear? And bear has nothing to do with accepting people of different races.
I didn't know what else to paint.
Start over. You will finger paint what we tell you. Go. Faster. Faster. Faster.
Ah!
Faster. Are you done? What is it? What have you done?
People of all colors agreed holding hands beneath a rainbow.
Good. That wasn't so hard, was it? Now do it again. Faster. Faster.
It's so screwed up. So,
yes, it is.
Back at the school, Garrison is set to receive the Courageous Teacher Award for overcoming adversity. Frustrated that he has still not been fired, Garrison decides that he's going to go all out at the ceremony in a flamboyant and stereotypically gay manner.
God damn it!
How'd it go?
This is unbelievable, Mr. Slave. It seems no matter what I do, I can't get fired.
The principal didn't fire you?
No, the parents felt so bad that their kids didn't want to attend my class anymore that they want to give me the Courageous Teacher Award this Friday at the Museum of Tolerance.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I mean, I stuck a gerbil up your ass, and they want to give me a goddamn medal.
Well, it sounds to me like the principal is just hiding things from everybody. What you need to do is let the parents see what kind of demented faggot you are.
Oh, well, hey, that's right, Mr. Slave. The parents have to see for themselves. The award ceremony. Well, we'll put on a show they'll never forget.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So, back at the tolerance camp, the boys are fading quickly due to the work environment set up, similar to how a concentration camp is set up. However, Cartman still finds a way to amuse himself, and this is one of those things I was talking about earlier.
Please don't tell them that we're hiding here. We can't work anymore. We'll die.
What?
Oh, nothing. I was just getting back to work.
What is in there?
Nothing.
Get back to work.
Yes, sir. Phew. Hey, I was just kidding. There's actually 2 girls hiding down there. Hey!
What an evil prick.
What an evil prick for sure.
And at the award ceremony for Courageous Teacher, Sharon tells Randy that she's ashamed at their son for his intolerance of gay people, as the museum curator announces how Mr. Garrison has endured ridicules from everyone for him being gay. After she calls Garrison on stage to receive his award, he appears with Mr. Slave in an extremely stereotypical and flamboyantly gay manner, with the kids' parents realizing that they were trying to tell them about Garrison's not disturbing act and not his way of life.
Oh, Randy, I'm so ashamed of our son.
It is my honor to present the Courageous Teacher Award to Herbert Garrison.
Down, they're down, they're down, they're down, they're down, they're down, they're down, down. Get along, little slave.
Oh my God.
That's what our boys were talking about?
Ding, 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 ding. He is so courageous. Say, Mr. Slave.
Yes, Mr. Garrison?
I had a dream last night that you were a real dick.
Really? Why would you dream that I was being an asshole?
No, I was the asshole.
Oh, that is so courageous.
What an amazing human being.
Oh my God.
What an amazing human being.
So, as they're putting on the same act that they put on for the kids, for the adults start clapping for Garrison, making him frustrated that his plan isn't working. He finally breaks down in anger, admitting that he's trying to get fired for being gay and that they should not allow students to be taught by someone with his kind of behavior. He also gives a speech on how tolerating and acceptance are not the same thing, and that the name of the museum should be changed to the Museum of Acceptance, because all of the exhibits reveal things to accept, not tolerate, because tolerate means you are just putting up with something annoying, like sitting next to a crying child or on an airplane, or having a bad cold, and it's still okay to get pissed off at it.
Seriously. You can get pissed off at it. You're allowed to, Joe. All the time.
God damn it, don't you people get it? I'm trying to get fired here.
It's courageous.
Oh, that's courageous.
Look, this kind of behavior should not be acceptable from a teacher.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
But the museum tells us to be tolerant. Yes, the museum. The museum tells us.
Tolerant, but not stupid. Look, just because you have to tolerate something doesn't mean you have to approve of it. If you had to like it, it'd be called the Museum of Acceptance. Tolerate means you're just putting up with it. You tolerate a crying child sitting next to you on the airplane, or you tolerate a bad cold. It can still piss you off. Jesus, tap dancing Christ.
Jesus, tap dancing Christ.
Right, that's one of my favorite lines, just like catchphrases.
Right.
So the parents then realize that they sent their children to tolerance camp for absolutely no reason, because they never hated homosexuals. They just hated Mr. Garrison and Mr. Slave's disturbing acts. So they head to the camp to reclaim the boys. Garrison then asks if he can finally get fired so he can get his money from the board. But Principal Victoria says that she has something else in mind.
He's right. Our boys didn't hate homosexuals, they just hated the way this asshole was acting.
We've got to get our boys back.
So now can I please get fired and get my $25 million?
No, I think I have a better idea.
Meanwhile, outside the tolerance camp, the parents apologize to their emaciated and malnourished children for misunderstanding what they were trying to tell them. As they head home, Principal Victoria decides to enroll Garrison and Slave into the tolerance camp for being intolerant of their own behavior. As the owner of the camp tells Mr. Garrison and Mr. Slave that they will be going through a lot of pain and suffering, Mr. Slave comments that this could be kind of fun.
We're sorry, boys. Why didn't you tell us your teachers were acting so over the top?
Yes, you boys don't know how much we've suffered.
Come on, let's go. But this is insane!
I'm sorry, Mr. Garrison, but it's obvious you aren't tolerant of your own behavior.
What do we have here, new recruits? I assure you the next week will be nothing but pain and suffering.
Ooh, this could be kind of fun.
Yep. At this point, he coughs up Lemmy-Winks, who is then congratulated by the Frog King, Sparrow Prince, and Catatafish for escaping from Slave's body and is crowned the Gerbil King.
That's right, he's crowned the Gerbil King. So before we go to this outro here, well, as far as and that is your full recap here on Suck My Balls for the episode. Now this next clip here is 3 minutes long. And basically what I've done, Joe, is I've taken all the different scenes throughout the episode that had the Lemmy-Winks character, the hamster, the gerbil, as we're calling it, trying to get out of Mr. Slave's asshole. Yes. So, before we get into that, of course, I do want to remind you of course, to check out our sponsors, thebakedboysclub.com. Use our code SuckMyBallsPod, and you'll save 20% off your order. That's thebakedboysclub.com. Baked Boys, not just a brand. It's a lifestyle. Exactly. And, of course, we'll also be right back after this song and a word from our sponsors.
A great adventure is waiting for you ahead. Hurry onward, Lemmy-Winks, or you will soon be dead. The journey before you may be long and filled with woe, but you must escape the gay man's ass so your tale can be told. Lemmy-Winks, 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 Lemmy-Winks. Lemmy-Winks journeyed a distance far and fast to find his way out of a gay man's ass. The road ahead is filled with danger and fright, but push onward, Lemmy-Winks, with all of your might.
Lemmy-Winks, you are coming to the entrance of the small intestine. There you must seek out the Sparrow Prince.
The Sparrow Prince lies somewhere way up ahead. Don't look back, Lemmy-Winks, or you'll soon be dead. Lemmy-Winks, Lemmy-Winks, the time is growing late. Slow down now and seal your fate. I am the Sparrow Prince. Long has my spirit been trapped within this place. Before you lies the maze of the small intestine. One path leads to the stomach, the other to certain doom. Take with you this helmet and torch. Let them be your guide. Take the magic helmet torch to help you light the way. There's still a lot of ground to cross inside the man so gay. Ahead of you lies adventure, and your strength still lies within. Freedom from the ass of doom is the treasure you will win.
Lemmy-Winks came to the stomach dark, 'neath the depths of the lungs and heart.
You chose your path wisely, Lemmy-Winks. I am the Catatafish.
Catatafish of the stomach's cove.
If you answer this riddle, the esophagus will let you pass.
Catatafish's riddle will soon be told.
Hang on, Lemmy-Winks. You solved the Catatafish's riddle. Now your trials are nearly through.
Lemmy-Winks has made it out, the tale is nearly through.
Great job, Lemmy-Winks.
Thanks to you, we are all free.
But your adventures are just beginning, for you are no ordinary gerbil, Lemmy-Winks. You are the Gerbil King.
All hail the Gerbil King. Now that you're the Gerbil King, there's more adventures to go on.
Fly away to faraway lands and to the setting sun. There's still so many enemies and battles yet to fight. For Lemmywinks, the gerbil king, to be told another night. Lemmywinks, 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 Lemmywinks,
Gerbil King.
So we just want to take this time out to recognize our sponsor, the Baked Boys Club. BakedBoysClub.com provides you with all of the sickest apparel available for all your cannabis-related merchandise representation needs. My boy here, Ian, lighten up back. How you doing, dude? I mean, he's baked. We're baked.
Yeah,
We're
just chilling.
baked. You know? Big Boys Club. Yeah, I mean, they've got some sick-ass merch, dude. Like, hats.
Yeah, I just ordered the big mystery box with the hat, the 2 shirts.
I'm jealous.
And the sticker.
Like,
with the... Using our coupon, it brought it down to 47, baby.
Oh my God. Go to Suck My Balls pod code. If you enter that in at BigBoysClub.com, put that in their coupon code is what I was going to say on the payment page.
Yes.
Or a little baked. We want you to be baked with us. So join the club. Go to BigBoysClub.com. Not just a brand. It's a lifestyle.
Light.
You mate. Stupid.
And we're back. And we are back for the trivia and the pop culture. Once again, shout out to our sponsor there. And that, of course, was the full story of Lemmywinks on this edition of Suck My Balls. Let's get into some trivia here, and I'll break it down. This, as you mentioned earlier, is the first appearance of Mr. Slave, Mr. Garrison's boyfriend, and classroom assistant. And, of course, the last appearance of Mr. Hat until the episode 200-201 story arc. Now, Mr. Garrison putting Lemmywinks, the gerbil, up Mr. Slave's ass is a reference to the urban legend about Richard Gere sticking a gerbil up his ass for sexual pleasure. Sparrow Prince claims that he had been stuck in Mr. Slave's body for years prior. Lemmywinks meeting him there, meaning it could be that he, alongside the Frog King and Katata fish, were also once inserted as normal animals whose skeletons can be seen near his anus area into Mr. Slave's ass before they died there. At the Museum of Tolerance, the female tour guide can be seen wearing a Jewish necklace.
Yep, she does have the Star of David.
Yes. The episode also marks the first uncensored use of the N-word, predating Hell on Earth 2006, and of course with apologies to Jesse Jackson. The slur was previously used incompletely by Mr. Garrison at the end of that Here Comes the Neighborhood. Well, at least I got rid of all those. And that's how they have the multiple bent 3-bladed fans inside the tolerance camp are reminiscent of swastikas. The children in class seem to finally get the joke of Diane chokes on Dick's name as they all laugh when Mr. Mackey mentions her, before they would rather laugh at pseudonyms they invented like Miss Makes Me Sick or Miss Chokes on Rocks. But in this case, Joe, when Mr. Mackey reintroduces Mr. Garrison, I know you're all upset about the death of your teacher, Mrs. Chokes on Dick. And then everyone laughs, and even Butters is like, ha! So they finally got it, and maybe it's because they thought she died on choking on a dick, and then they finally got the innuendo.
Right.
This is Principal Victoria's only speaking appearance in Season 6. In the promotional pictures for this episode, the Tolerance Camp scenes are in color. But in this episode, only the final scene taking place at the camp is in color. Here's some pop culture references for you. The use of black and white, of course, at the camp is homage to the Steven Spielberg film Schindler's List, a film about a Nazi who secretly saved Jews from the Holocaust. The Lemmywinks subplot is a parody of the Rankin Bass animated film The Hobbit. There's also been some comparison to the children's book series of Redwall. The white-haired character in the audience who exclaims, But the museum tells us to be tolerated, is a clear reference to Makora character from the original Star Trek series episode The Apple. And then finally, with your continuity here, despite being freed by Lemmywinks at the end of the episode, the Frog King appears again in Stupid Spoiled Whore video playset. aiding Paris Hilton in escaping Mr. Slave's ass, and also makes references to Sparrow Prince, Lemmy Winks, Katata Fish, and the Sparrow Prince and the Frog King, of course, all reappear in Bass to Mouth almost 9 years later. Paris Hilton! Paris Hilton! Paris Hilton! Paris Hilton!
Oh man, Lemmy Winks is
Stupid
fucking him up.
That's how it ends. Stupid slut. Anyway, oh yeah. Do you have anything to say? Speechless. He's speechless. The way Randy says, "That's our Cartman," is reminiscent of how Randy says, "That's our grandpa" in season 1, episode Death. Come here, Billy. As part of the gag, the residents and guys berate a man for smoking outside the Museum of Tolerance. A later episode, "Put out, put out."
No, smell. Oh, God.
But Out would try to absolve some negativity around smoking, which resulted in some criticism. Despite Butters being dumped and replaced in the episode of Professor Chaos as Kenny's replacement, and of course Tweak now disappearing from the gang and the ladder to heaven, they both seem to be with Kyle, Stan, and Cartman again this episode. Tweak, however, disappears near the end of the episode, with Butters replacing Kenny for the first time since the new Terrence and Phillip movie trailer.
Where were you?
Where were you?
When Tweak and Butters became hanging out with the guys again?
Where were you? Did it make you feel kind of happy? Or did you think it was kind of gay? Well, I, for one, believe that weekends of gay. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Craig turns him.
Not living.
Yeah, you know, I don't want to. I mean, we can get to that episode later, but I always thought it was weird that the town of South Park just kind of turned Craig and Tweak gay.
Yeah, they like willed it into existence. Them and Cartman's Cupid.
Yeah, because like Craig before this, I mean, Tweak I might have bought because he never really had any interactions with females, but Craig did. So like, I don't understand. And it was very confusing. Maybe Craig's bisexual and he just doesn't know a lot about himself. I don't know. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's your pop culture continuity and trivia. Joe, what did you like about this episode? Off the top, go.
The porta potty scene where Cartman drops a deuce on the two girls and then dimes them out to the camp supervisor. Oh look, the capitalist Jew. The whole which also leads into the and here's the lazy Mexican stereotype.
Right.
Like as they're going after stereotypes, they're still
making fun of specific cultures, so that way they make it appear that, you know, they're not just turning it into you're a bad kind of person.
Right.
Like they're like, no, we're ignorant of this too. Look, here's our joke.
Yeah.
Because they made a joke, right? I don't have that clip, but they made a joke where they're looking at the quote unquote stereotypes. So they see a couple different races, you know, chicken, black guy eating chicken and watermelon, right?
Right.
And then like, there's either an Italian or an Asian guy doing something.
Yeah, Asian guy doing math.
Right.
The coveting Jew.
I'm sorry, but the Asian guy doing math always makes me laugh.
Yeah.
Just that picture. And then the coveted Jew with Cartman. And then, of course, even then Randy points out and he says, oh, look, the lazy Mexican. But it's not really a lazy Mexican.
No.
It's just an employee who happens to be probably of Latin descent.
Tired.
And tired. Oh, I'm so tired. Oh, I'm just so sleepy.
Yeah.
But you know what? I get that, bro. Sometimes you're just tired.
Yeah, man. Sometimes you gotta conk out for like 35, 45 seconds like I did.
You gotta take a freaking break.
Yeah.
I like that. What else did I like in this episode? I liked Chef arguing in the counselor's office when he tells her to go fuck herself and making him go to freaking intolerance camp. Like, what the fuck do you mean? Like, looking at it like, and I always thought it was funny. Like, wait a minute. You're sending the black guy to tolerance camp?
Right.
The guy who has to, like, deal with tolerance on a day-to-day basis of people probably belittling him, thinking differently of him, how he just walking around, just trying to be himself.
Yeah.
Especially in South Park, where it's just made up of mostly white people and Token's family.
No, we're sending Chef to a tolerance seminar.
Sending Chef to a tolerance seminar? You got to be crazy.
You've demonstrated a lack of tolerance for Mr. Garrison's behavior. In fact, I believe you used the words sick queer to describe his conduct in class.
He is a sick queer. Yeah.
I just wanted to give you an opportunity to apologize to Mr. Garrison before I sent you away, Chef.
Kiss my black ass.
Yeah, exactly.
And Token's family is living in the rich class, so they're not really associating probably too much with, the lower middle class of South Park.
Oh, no, not at all.
So I liked his scene in there when he told her to go F himself. I don't like the words, obviously, as far as the slang, but I do like Cartman's reaction to it. I want to go again. I thought that was just funny.
Yeah, that definitely tipped us all off to the kind of person Cartman is, as if Scott Tenorman must die didn't teach us already.
And finally, I do like the fact that, I like Garrison sticking Lemmy Winks up Mr. Slave's ass to get fired, and then Lemmy Winks, the whole song, the whole story.
Yeah, the whole Lemmy Winks story arc, and this being the start of it is just great. And I am a huge fan of Lemmy Winks, so I have this one pretty high ranked.
So for me, what I don't like about this episode, Joe, is I did not like a lot of the intolerance camp scenes, and it has nothing to do with being in black and white, because I love black and white movies. However, I just thought that because they gave us that clip, or however, 2-3 scenes, to me, it didn't feel like it was enough. Like, I felt like a lot of the story we ended up getting was Lemmy Winks, as I played 3 minutes there, and Mr. Garrison trying to get fired.
Yeah.
So the kids almost became an afterthought for me halfway through the episode. Even though they got their own subplot at the intolerance camp, I felt like their story just kind of wrapped up there, and we didn't see them till the end.
Right. Yeah. They could have definitely gone more in depth with the concentration camp, the death camp intolerance. But this is probably one of those ones that, because there were 3 stories going on. There was Garrison trying to get fired. There were the boys at camp, and then Lemmy Winks finding his way out of a gay man's ass. They just didn't have enough time to tell each story, and maybe the death camp story was the weakest.
No, for sure. It definitely was. And I mean, they did converge it, of course, at the end, where Mr. Garrison gets sent to the concentration camp, and then Mr. Slave coughs up Lemmy Winks, and then the boys go home. So there was a little bit of a wrap up there, so I'm not shitting on that aspect. I just felt like definitely could have been some more concentration camp. Like, the black and white was fine, but there could have been some more comedy, I felt like.
Yeah.
It definitely got a little serious there, and they tried to make it like with finger paints and other stuff like that. But I don't know. To me, it just kind of, they did a good job of making a Schindler's List homage. And while I like Schindler's List, it's not a movie that I'm going to go back and watch over and over.
Right.
So whenever this episode comes up, I love the Lemmy Week stuff. I love the Mr. Garrison stuff here, but I always find this aspect of the episode just to be a little bit less than. So I know you have rated this very highly, though, as far as in your top.
Yeah, it's in my top 25 because of Lemmy Winks.
So I would agree with you, but I would have to say it's in my top 100. So, I mean, I do like this episode. I just feel like there's a lot stronger episodes for me, especially over the course of 300 episodes. But I will say it's in my top 100 because it's a great episode.
Right, yeah.
So, well, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for another edition of
Suck my balls, suck my balls, my balls, suck 'em dry.
As you well know, I'm your host, Steven Ayers Clean, and I'm lighting up that green. Ya boy, MSG. You can follow me on Twitter and on Instagram at Matthew_Sheffer. And we're available on all podcast outlets. You can tell your mom, tell your dad, tell your uncle, tell your brother, tell your sister, tell your mother, tell your son under the umbrella that you don't know about. Yeah, I'm talking about that umbrella. And of course, you can also check us out on Facebook at South Park Pod. Join us in the group on South Park Fans United if you want to hang out. Just talk South Park with everybody there. And Joe, you have anything coming up for you this weekend?
No, nothing really to push or anything like that. My voice is shot.
What's your social media if people want to just hit you up?
On Twitter, I am at JV Vernola.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for another edition of Suck My Ball. Shout out to, of course, our boy. We miss you. We love you. We'll see you on the next edition of
Suck my balls, suck my balls, my balls, suck 'em dry.
Look, this is a bar.
We can't have children in here. People come here for debauchery and sin.
Butters will give hand jobs in the corner for $1.
Sure, I'm good at all kinds of jobs.
Get out!
This conversation is kind of leaving me dry. No small talk leaves a pain in my side. A bed of roses can bring a man in vain to the bridges where I'm seeing name. Oh, on the river as it lights up the way. Oh, seems to float his boat, and now he knows to rock the waves. Yeah. Conversations that he has in his head are no longer demons, and he can finally go to bed. And he knows that things will change for worse or for better. He can't ignore all. He's better off alone. Something I can tell about you. Something I can feel about you. Something's got to fall. Ooh, something's got to give now. Oh, yeah. And something's got to fall. Oh, something I can tell about you. Something I can feel about you. Oh. Something I can tell about you. Something I can feel about you. Something I can tell about you. Something I can feel about you. Something I can tell about you. Something I can feel about you.